When you're involved with a museum, you realize that history needs to start somewhere. And if you look at the history of our next enshrining, you can look at an event in 1953 when Roy E. Osborne, who was then with the Kentucky State Police, was present when they acquired their first aircraft, a Cessna 170A. And with his extensive flying experience, became the first Kentucky State Trooper to pilot a Kentucky State Police plane, and led to his appointment as the inaugural aviation officer with the KSP. He was pivotal in utilizing the aircraft for various purposes, including prisoner transportation, traffic surveillance and control, and fast transportation, and he did so much more. Let's now take a moment to look at the life and work of Colonel Roy E. Osborne.
Roy E. Osborne, a true pioneer in Kentucky aviation, was born in Covington, Kentucky on June 22, 1904. Growing up in the small towns of Lawrenceville and Williamstown, young Roy developed a deep fascination with the skies above. Little did he know that his passion would lead him on an extraordinary journey. 1923, fate intervened when Roy met Captain Boyd, a barnstormer visiting Grant County. Inspired by Captain Boyd's daring aerial feats, Roy's dreams took flight. Under Captain Boyd's tutelage, Roy learned to soar through the air, igniting a lifelong love for aviation. With his newfound skills, Roy's ambitions soared higher. In 1928, he graduated from the renowned Embry-Riddle Flying School, marking a significant milestone in his journey. Roy's dedication and expertise were noticed, and in 1931, he became Kentucky's first airborne inspector, establishing himself as a trailblazer in the state's aviation industry. In February 1936, Roy took a leap into a new chapter of his life. He joined the Kentucky Highway Patrol, a decision that would shape his career for the next 2 decades. Rising through the ranks, Roy's dedication and skills set him apart. In 1941, he had performed over 50 parachute jumps for exhibition purposes, showcasing his fearlessness and commitment to his craft. When World War II engulfed the nation, Roy's sense of duty and love for flying compelled him to take action. At age 37, he enlisted in the Army Air Corps in December 1941. Assigned to the 325th Observation Squadron as a private, Roy's journey as a military aviator began. Training commenced at Pensacola in 1942, and he quickly proved his mettle as a skilled pilot. Assigned to the Naval Air Station Roosevelt Base in Terminal Island, California, Roy became a ferry pilot, transporting aircraft to various locations. Throughout his military service, Roy's talent and dedication were recognized. In July 1944, he earned the prestigious title of a Certified Engineering Pilot, showcasing his remarkable skills in evaluating and assessing aircraft performance. Later that year, he received orders to Naval Air Station Kodiak in Alaska, where he assumed the role of Operations Officer. After the war, Roy returned to his roots and resumed his career with the Kentucky Highway Patrol, which had transitioned into the Kentucky State Police in 1948. Simultaneously, he continued his service in the United States Navy Reserve, flying military aircraft and exemplifying his commitment to both his civilian and military duties. In 1953, a milestone moment arrived when the Kentucky State Police acquired their first aircraft. It was a Cessna 170A. Osborne, with his extensive flying experience, became the first Kentucky State Trooper to pilot a Kentucky State Police plane. His invaluable contribution led to his appointment as the inaugural aviation officer within the KSP. He played a pivotal role in utilizing the aircraft for various purposes, including prisoner transportation, traffic surveillance and control, and fast transportation. Roy's dedication to both his civilian and military roles was unwavering. To pursue his passion for aviation and military service further, he resigned from the United States Navy Reserve under honorable conditions to become a reserve officer in the United States Air Force, specifically the Kentucky Air National Guard. Rising through the ranks, Roy achieved the rank of Commander in the Navy on January 9, 1954, and a day later, he became a Lieutenant Colonel in the Air Force. His expertise and leadership earned him a position as Air Commander 123rd Fighter Bomber Group, where he served as Deputy Chief of Staff after his promotion to Colonel on July 24, 1955. In 1956, Roy embarked on a new endeavor. He left the Kentucky State Police to take up the position of Director of Airport Development. His extensive knowledge and expertise propelled him to further heights when he was appointed Commissioner of the Department of Aeronautics on March 1, 1957. Roy's visionary leadership and unwavering commitment shaped the future of Kentucky's aviation industry, leaving an indelible mark on its infrastructure and development, a testament to his enduring passion for aviation. As a pioneer and colonel in the Kentucky Air National Guard, his contributions to civilian and military aviation were invaluable. Roy's tireless dedication and pioneering spirit cemented his legacy as a true pioneer in Kentucky aviation. Osborne's pioneering spirit, unwavering dedication, and love for the skies have left an indelible mark on the development of aviation in Kentucky. It is therefore fitting that Colonel Roy E. Osborne, whose remarkable journey from his humble beginnings in Kentucky to his extraordinary achievements in aviation, and who opened the doors to the sky for his fellow Kentuckians, be enshrined into the Kentucky Aviation Hall of Fame.
Presenting Colonel Osborne tonight will be Chris Osborne and Terry Osborne. Chris Osborne is the grandson of Roy and served 4 years in the Navy performing interior communications. He is from Virginia Beach, Virginia, currently employed as commercial maintenance man for the Runnymede Corporation. Terry Osborne will accept the award for Colonel Osborne. Terry is the youngest son of Roy. He lives with his wife Debbie in Millbury, Massachusetts. Terry is retired from the Navy and served as an aviation mechanic, a quality assurance inspector, and a flight deck coordinator. He has had deployments on the Saratoga, the Independence, the Forrestal, and the John F. Kennedy. We could probably say what ships he wasn't on. After he retired from the Navy, he went to work for the city of Virginia Beach as an automated mechanic and retired in 2010. Now fully retired and living in Millbury. Please welcome Chris Osborne.
Hello, my name is Chris Osborne. I am the grandson of Colonel Roy Osborne. Colonel Roy Osborne was a highly motivated man. He was also a daredevil with a sense of humor. Some of his daredevil stunts were barnstorming, wing walking, and parachute jumps. Here are a few stories told by people that had the pleasure of knowing him. After Roy began flying, he would fly over his father's farm. If his father was out plowing, Roy would buzz down and scare the horses. Whenever Governor Albert Benjamin Happy Chandler was in office, Roy often rode his motorcycle escorting the governor's car. The governor's son was 10 years old and wanted to ride on the back of the motorcycle, but the governor said no. Many years later, my father was visiting Happy Chandler's sons, Albert B. Chandler, and he winked his eye and said, "Hey, I got that ride on a motorcycle." Roy was a bit of a practical joker. One time he took the back seat out of his car and put a Shetland pony in the back, and his son Terry in the front. He parked his car in front of J.B. Miller's drugstore. J.B. Miller was his father-in-law. He put Terry in the saddle and took Terry and the pony right into the store. When Roy died in 1957, the Kentucky Air National Guard sent a letter to the family, and it really described Roy. Here's what it said. His colorful, efficient, patriotic service and his courteous, friendly nature endeared him to all whom he served. His faithful service was characterized by vigilance, zeal, energy, untiring devotion to duty, and a genuine enthusiasm for the good of military service and public interest. Above all, he will be remembered for his great courage. Thank you.
I'm Terry Osborne, son of Colonel Roy Osborne. named Roy. We called him Ozzy. Can't see my nephews out there, but his sons are here today. After I retired from my second job, I had a lot of free time. I opened up a suitcase full of pictures and letters about my father, and I wrote his nomination to the Aviation Hall of Fame. That was over 10 years ago, so never say never. Let me say thank you to a few people. My wife Debbie, we've always been a team. She has supported me in everything we've done together. My friends who offered information and gave me total support in my efforts to get my father into the Aviation Hall of Fame. They're all, I can't see them, but they're all sitting right there. My family, for coming here tonight and sharing this happy event. And it is a happy event for me. This is the closest we've ever come to having a family reunion. Trooper Walter Chisholm. I met Walter through a phone call in 2011. Walter gave me information about Roy's career in the Kentucky State Police. That's where I got a lot of those photos of him flying the State Police area. My last big thank you is to the Aviation Hall of Fame Committee and Mr. James McCormick. Jim and I became friends because I had so many questions. He was always polite and answered my questions. Tonight, I salute my father, Colonel Roy Osborne, as he joins many great people in the Aviation Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Terry Osborne is now seen the medallion inscribed in the name of his father, Colonel Roy Osborne, who is now declared to be duly enshrined in the Kentucky Aviation Hall of Fame.